Swinging a high drive into center field. It's at the wall. It is gone. Costas does it again. It's gone. It's into the bullpen. This game is tied.
He swings and rips one to center field. It's high. It's deep. It's back. It's gone. Sale winds. He fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the World Championship.
Welcome back to Play Tessie. It's episode 159. This is the official Red Sox podcast of WEI. Before we get going, subscribe, rate 5 stars wherever you're getting your podcasts. Find us on YouTube on the WEI channel. Find the Play Tessie playlist there. Has all our episodes. Find us on the socials at Play Tessie on both Twitter and Instagram. Here with Sammy, here with Pat. Rush through that intro, but I don't even know. I don't know. Max Fried's off the board. There's panic. There's panic, and I don't want to it's hard because I try so hard to be as level-headed as I can be. But when this team goes into the offseason telling anyone and everyone that will listen that they're going to go big. And I'm going on this right now, and there's plenty of time left in the offseason for them to go big. I literally just said that 2 days ago, that there's plenty of time to go big. But a lot has changed since then. A lot has changed. We knew they offered $700 million for Soto, and the reports were they were gonna pivot to the big free agents. There were still 2 big free agent pitchers, and obviously Garrett Crochet via trade and multiple free agent bats. And since then, Max Fried off the board to the Yankees, 8 years, $218 million, way more than we thought he was going to get. I personally would not have given him 8 years. I'm not upset that they didn't give 8 years, but I am upset that they let Blake Snell get off the board for 5 years. Obviously, Soto got away. I'm not going to blame him for that. Fried off the board now, and now with Corbin Burnes, part of why I'm so upset right now is because we had that report from Mike Rodriguez, who has definitely had stuff in the past saying, and he said they were about to agree with Corbin Burnes and always going to be well. And then he's backed off that. Mark Feinsand said the Blue Jays and the Dodgers are the favorite. That's where we're at right now, pitching-wise. It looks like we're about to lose now the third and final free agent ace on the market. That's not to say there's not other guys that they maybe could sign that could turn into aces. Like we saw them last year. They had it right scouting-wise with Imanaga, Flaherty, Lugo. They just didn't close the deal. But that's what this is, man. These guys, they have not closed a big deal yet. And, I'm not going to fault them for not going to 765 on Soto, especially knowing that Steve Cohen would have kept going. So I'm not going to fault them for not closing Soto. But the truth of the matter is, this is a team that should be really attractive for free agents. Like, get to play in the most historic ballpark in America in front of an awesome fan base that is dying to see wins, to see playoff baseball. And it has like one of the brightest futures in baseball based off of the farm. But they just haven't been able to get guys to go. And where we stand today, is Walker Buehler going to be the best free agent pitching addition the Red Sox have? That's where I'm at. And I love Walker Buehler. I was a proponent of Walker Buehler at the deadline when he was sucking. I wanted him then. I would love him now. I think he's got upside. He cannot be the best pitcher the Red Sox get this offseason. The Red Sox need certainty at the top of the rotation. And I'm not in panic mode, but for the first time of the offseason, I'm officially scared that might not happen.
I love when you do these rants, Gordo. You're good at them. I know you don't like doing them, though, so apologies.
I gotta get in the mode. I can't fake it.
Yeah. No. We're all genuine here. I wonder if the free agents' hesitancy to sign with Boston, along with the money not being right a lot of the time, I wonder if the way the team has operated over the past, call it 5-6 years, I wonder if that rubs players the wrong way, in the same way that we think we can't trust ownership, we can't trust the GM with all these promises they're making. I wonder if guys like, just for example, Juan Soto, if when he was getting this pitch from the Red Sox saying, we have this great farm system, we have this much money, if we sign you, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. I wonder if it ever crossed his mind. Can I trust these guys? Because that's what I'm thinking 24/7 every time we hear a Sam Kennedy quote, a Craig Breslow quote. I can't hear it anymore. So I just wonder if that effect is bleeding out of the New England area and into the Major League Baseball player pool.
You know, Pat, I want you to go, but we just hit the 5-minute mark, so I have to do it. Fuck! All right, go ahead.
All right.
Seriously,
I told you.
fuck. Fuck.
I told you. I thought, maybe that would die off. Maybe it would kind of simmer down. I'd calm myself, think of, alternative routes here. None of that has happened. This is beyond fucking ridiculous. This is yet them putting words out to the media, out to the press. Gordo, like you said, whoever would fucking listen. We're big fish hunting. We're going to be spending no limits, this, that, the other thing. You got embarrassed in free negotiations. The reports coming out, they weren't even sniffing the Yankees offer. You topped out at 700 for Soto, whatever. You weren't outbidding Cohen. I get that. Whatever. Fuck it. While you're so up in Soto mode, the Dodgers swoop in from underneath you, grab Snell. That 5 years looks like a steal right now. Free just got 8 years. Now there is one bona fide ace left on the free agent market. Since November, all we have heard is going to spend. We're big fish hunting, top of the rotation arm. They're not even being mentioned in Corbin Burnes reports. This is, and then everything around it is just completely fucking falling apart. The biggest thing, I went to 7 years of college, business class. Even I know supply and demand. There is so much demand on starting pitching with not enough supply. It was bad enough. The price points were bad enough.
And we knew this from the start, too.
And now you're at the point where the lone guy left on the market is a Boris guy. You're not getting him for anything less than what Fried just got. Mm-hmm. On top, you now have teams like Seattle, teams like Pittsburgh, teams like Chicago, who have you by the ball sack price-wise because they know you are desperate because you did nothing, and you're focusing on one guy at a time, not meeting their price point, pivoting too late, not meeting their price point, and now they're fucked. They are beyond fucked.
You want to know what's also pissing me off so much, and maybe it's a reason for optimism, but it is pissing me off as it stands right now. Is that like we can look to the quotes where they say this is the last struggle and we need to get uncomfortable and stuff that they said at the end of the season. Buddy, they're still saying those things today, every day. They said it yesterday. They said it today. They'll probably say it again tomorrow, that we're in the market for frontline guys and we have to get uncomfortable. They're saying it. They're just not doing it. It's like they don't know how to negotiate. And it's like, it's almost like they think that they're the Dodgers or something, where you're coming off a World Series and you're the most glorious franchise in the sport and guys are going to want to come to you. I'm sorry that this is not the 2018 going into 2019 Red Sox. You don't have that shine. You've been
embarrassed. Like, do you think there's any part of them? They got to be a little bit embarrassed because they're getting just dunked on, not only by their own fans now. It's like I saw Jolly Olive making fun of the Red Sox today. Jay Hay making fun of the Red Sox today. Every big baseball content person is in on this joke about the Red Sox now. And
it was last year too, Sammy. It was last year too.
It's even more so this year because this was the first time we had real expectations, and those quotes we're talking about, there were stronger quotes this year than any year in the past, saying straight up, we're going big fish hunting. We're doing this, this, and that. And they've done none of it so far. Granted, like you said, Gordo, it's December 10th, but still, man, they're just getting dunked on by everyone. And now the other teams and the media, Mike Deportes is saying that's getting guys out of negotiations with the Red Sox for other teams. It's like taking candy from a baby. That's brutal. I mean, that's pretty funny, but that's brutal. You're getting dunked on in every direction. I have to think they're a little bit embarrassed by this.
Then do something about it.
The other huge thing here is, so far, the only substantial rumor we have had, one that had steam across it, was Red Sox and Alex Bregman. We now know that did not happen because there is literal arguing within
infighting.
Infighting.
He is a good fit. Are we fucking serious? I'm not even a Bregman guy. I wouldn't be mad if they got him. I'm not singing his praises from the mountaintop. I'm not. That is a guy. He is a right-handed bat. If he's willing to play second base, it's an absolute no-brainer. Been there, done that. Multiple-time All-Star, great defender. This, that, the other thing. Craig is the one who doesn't like that. Guess what? It's called being uncomfortable. You do it. You've been saying nothing. Do it.
I want to get into the I want to get our updated takes on Bregman a little bit later in the show, but I'm still too mad about the pitching thing to get there. I just think about
okay, let's think. Let's be calm. Who's left? You have Burnes, who is the big fish. He might get $300 million. I don't think anyone would be shocked. I think probably like 275, just because I don't think as many teams are going to be in on him. You got Jack Flaherty. You got Walker Buehler. Manaea, right? Yeah, Manaea's still out there. And then trade-wise, those are just trade-wise. Yeah, let's just go trade. Those are the free agents. Trade-wise, you have Crochet. Mariners guys sounds unlikely.
Not happening. Castillo might. Castillo might. The rest, I don't see it.
Yeah, sorry. The young Mariners guys. Yeah, Castillo, I'm just not. I guess, yeah, he's an option. He's not bad.
Hold on. I want to let you keep going, but I will say this. If the Walker Buehler thing is real and they match that with Castillo, who may not have as much upside as he used to, but his certainty, that would be okay with me.
Yeah,
but
that's
go
a good
on.
rotation.
Keep naming guys. What are
okay,
they? Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So
Pittsburgh guys, probably not. That keeps getting shut down.
Not. Luzardo's an option, but he's got a lumbar issue, which is bad. Shout out to the people with lower back issues. I'm with you. That's tough. And then I think that might be it. All pitchers.
One name that's been floated, but not kind of like the Pittsburgh guys, like Zach Gallen. I don't think Zach Gallen moves, but supposedly
Dylan Cease. If you want to get into rentals, there's Dylan Cease, and then there's Framber Valdez too. Personally, with me, I have a hard time seeing the Sox go after a rental starting pitcher, and I know that there was that reported interest today in Cease. Color me shocked if the Red Sox trade for a rental that's represented by Scott Boras. I just don't see it.
Any rental at all. Look at this market. Why would anyone, actually, not even just starting pitchers, why would any decent player, period, sign an extension when they could just go to free agency? The prices are unbelievable. And we talk about it all the time. It goes up every year. This is a big jump this year. I mean, Soto, $765 million with a chance to go closer to 800. Just nuts. So,
you know what's funny is we've done all of this talking about how upset we are. And I think our unanimous most before the Soto stuff, because obviously the Soto sweepstakes overtook the nation. But before the Soto stuff, who was our unanimous kind of top Red Sox target?
Corbin Burnes.
For me, it was Crochet.
It was Pack. We talked about Crochet the most.
Crochet.
We talked Crochet the most on this show, and we haven't even brought up the fact that, according to reports, Red Sox are either on the periphery, if you listen to Cotillo and McAdam, looking at other pursuits, if you listen to Ken Rosenthal, who said, yeah, apparently they're not in the forefront. They should get to the forefront. I know that John Heyman said that they're asking Roman Anthony, so I obviously do not want them trading Roman Anthony for him. But I mean, if you're not going to be at the forefront of the Corbin Burnes negotiations, Garrett Crochet is the guy you have to get. But it doesn't seem right now like that's happening. There was the Ben Nicholson Smith article today where he was kind of like, yeah, the Red Sox are going after Crochet, but it didn't feel as I couldn't tell if it was that's new news that he heard today or if he's just kind of saying it, but he did say per sources. So I don't know, but I don't think you can. Ben Nicholson Smith from Toronto, he's good.
Okay,
he's really good. He goes on with Rob a lot on Baseball Isn't Boring, but he's probably the best guy they've got in Toronto. Cool. But I don't know. I mean, I was hoping that we were going to see some other media jump on that and say, yeah, actually the Red Sox today had some, renewed effort for Crochet, but I haven't heard it from anyone else. So as of right now,
what if teams think that he's not going to sign the extension? Because that was, for me, like I said, Garrett Crochet, my number one target. However, if he's not actually willing to sign an extension, I'm out because I don't want to spend Marcelo Meyer, for example, send him to Chicago, and then you got to run the risk of losing this guy for nothing. So
that was the caveat for me is I wouldn't, and I assume at this point it's going to take Marcelo Meyer, maybe even more to get the guy. I said I wouldn't trade Marcelo Meyer until I got desperate. Well, if Burnes goes elsewhere, I'm officially desperate and I would do it. But again, it is very contingent on being committed to lock that guy up long term. And if you don't think that that's going to get done, I'm not trading Marcelo Meyer for 2 years of Crochet. But I am almost officially in desperation and panic mode. Once Corbin Burnes, I know it sounds like I'm in panic mode. I'll get deeper into panic mode if Corbin Burnes goes off the market. I'll start talking crazy shit with Crochet. But yeah, that's fuck. I don't want to panic, but I'm gonna panic.
Let me just put something into perspective, and this is completely factual. The New York Yankees just lost a top 5 player in baseball and are still going to have a better offseason than the Boston Red Sox. That is asset. You lost a top 5 player in baseball, and in the grand scheme of things, still had a successful offseason. The Red Sox lost nobody.
Yeah, they're about to get Christian Walker too, man.
Yes.
Like, he's good. Don't sleep on
good.
Christian Walker. That guy's a bopper.
The second Juan Soto is not a New York Yankee, you do everything to lock up a significant piece, A, before the Yankees do, and B, to capitalize on the AL being wide open. Instead, they were hyper-focused on fucking Alex Bregman. Insane to me.
Okay, let's talk about the Bregman thing, because that all started big report from Bradfo. This thing kept me up at night. It was brutal. Like, I was about to go to sleep. It was 2:30. It was the night that they missed out on Soto. It was like 2 something in the morning. And I'm like about to finally be like, okay, I'm starting to feel like I can actually sleep now. Put the phone down, buzzes. There's the Bradfo article. And it's Sox in on Bregman. I texted him. I said, good work. Like, guess what? I'm fucking awake. But yeah, he got the Bregman scoop. Sox intend to make a big push for Bregman. Obviously, Cora raved about him the next day in his press availability. And then Robert Murray said, yeah, probably Astros or Sox for Bregman. Then Ken Rosenthal said, yeah, he's probably leaving Houston. Then obviously the report that Pat mentioned earlier, where it's like Cora and Sam Kennedy, who I guess is involved in baseball decisions, want Alex Bregman, and Craig Breslow, the guy who's making the baseball decisions in this case, is hesitant. That's insane. That's insane to me that I just, yeah, that report, the heavy interest comes out, all the media gets a hold of Sox and Bregman, and it's like, wow, the chief decision maker of your team isn't even fully sold on the guy. I don't know if Craig Breslow isn't sold on Alex Bregman. I don't know that he's going to make Alex Bregman his first massive signing. I don't know.
Okay.
That's just, is that just me?
I have some questions. Okay. First thing, why is Sam Kennedy giving any player input on anything?
Agreed.
He's the PR kind of front-facing guy. He should not have any input whatsoever. That's crazy to me that he has that. Second thing, whose opinion on Bregman do you guys value more, Alex Cora or Craig Breslow? And think about it, because Cora is the guy who's making the moves on the field, but he's not thinking years down the road. But he probably knows more about Bregman and more about, the hitting and defense side of baseball. Whereas Bregman's the acting GM. I know that's not his title, but he's the GM for the sake of this discussion. And he's doing the money. So who do you care about more?
Breslow. This is his job. It's his job. I think Cora's an incredibly smart baseball mind. I trust Cora with my life. But this is what Craig Breslow was hired to do. It's his decision, his job. I've become more sold on Alex Bregman since the second base thing. I like the idea of him at second base more than him at third and moving Devers. That said, if Craig Breslow is not on board, do I feel comfortable with the Red Sox investing $200 million with a guy that the GM isn't fully on board with? Well, guess who just invested a bunch of money in a guy that the GM wasn't fully on board with? That was the Diamondbacks, and they are in full regret mode with Jordan Montgomery, who the owner wanted. And the GM was a little bit, Mike Hazen was not fully sold on that.
I know you're right, but I'm talking, manager versus GM. I mean, the manager, like Breslow's decisions, I agree. It is his job, but it directly affects what Cora does on a day-to-day basis. And if Cora's saying, hey, this makes my job easier and makes the team better, I don't know. I don't know who to listen to. It's a genuine question. Pat, who do you think?
Well, quick before Pat, the other thing you have to keep in mind is the fact that Cora focuses on the here and the now because he's the manager here and now. Breslow's job is also to focus on the future. And I think obviously that's the issue with Bregman is you're going to have to pay probably 7 years, and he might only be good for like 2 of them, maybe 3.
That's why it's a tough question. That's exactly why it's so tough.
Pat, go.
I'm going Cora. I think if Cora has actually seen this guy at least play a little bit of second base in Houston, so he has no qualms about him going over there playing. He knows how good of like a clubhouse leader he is, a veteran presence. He knows what his team needs. Craig is not in that locker room. And then on top of that, I don't understand how Craig could not want Bregman just because you're clearly not going to pay any starting pitchers. If you get Bregman, like Marcelo becomes so beyond example. But answering your question, Cora 1,000% over Breslow.
I'm trying to think of let's take Burnes and Crochet out. Let's take Bregman out. Can the Red Sox? Let me back up. Actually, let me back up because I was thinking about this today. Like, do you guys remember? Obviously, you remember when they got to camp last year, and you had Kenley complaining. They promised him stuff and they didn't come through. You had Devers saying everyone knows what we need. What would that be like? What the hell must the players on this team be thinking right now after all of the talk and after all the because obviously we know what the fans are thinking. You should see, like, if you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. Look at that website. Holy shit. Now imagine if you have to live that every day. Like we live it every day and we just watch it. Imagine living it every day, getting to the ballpark at like noon, spending like 10 hours there every single day, and you're told that you're going to make these huge moves, and seemingly one by one they just drop off the board. It's got to be stressful. It's got to be frustrating. Like you think of a guy like Devers who was probably hoping they were going to get Juan Soto, and now where's he at? You think a guy like Lucas Giolito was recruiting Max Fried, and now he's going to the rival. Like
nobody's happy. Nobody's happy. I don't think the players are as locked in as we are with the social media and the following the rumors and everything. I'll definitely confidently say that, but it can't be fun thinking you're going to have a better team around you, especially for these guys. And I'm talking mostly about guys like who you just mentioned, like Devers and Houck, who's in the middle of that rotation, Bayo, who's young and he's going to be with the team for a while, Rafaela, those guys, Casas.
Story said that he expected big things.
Yep, Story, who's still locked up for a while with the Red Sox. The guys who are going to be there for the long run, this has to be kind of like, seriously? Are we really going to win another 78 games? 81, 78, 81, something in that range? Really? It's not as... They had to have watched those playoffs, epic playoffs in 2024. They probably were watching that.
One of the best ever.
I want to be playing in those playoffs, bro. Come on, man. Get me in there, Sox. But the Sox are like, nah, bro. We don't
Can I piss you guys off? Can I piss you guys off real quick?
You can't.
What? Yeah, I'm about to. Remember last offseason when they were about to actually? No, I'll go that way. I'll go that route. Remember last season? So obviously they'd signed Giolito. They got Tyler O'Neill, and we thought they were going to sign Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah.
What if I could compare a single pitcher on the market right now to Lucas Giolito, it's probably Walker Buehler, just based off of the situation. And if I could compare a guy on the market to Teoscar Hernandez, it's probably Teoscar Hernandez. So basically, the way shit's looking right now, like, are they literally about to put together the same basic offseason premise as they did last year, except the only difference is you're paying like 3 times as much for Teoscar as you were going to have to a year ago? Like, is that where this is headed?
And losing a draft pick?
Gordo, you completely forgot. They just got a healthy Liam Hendricks and Aroldis Chapman.
Liam Hendricks, another guy who said he said full metal. That's what he said. He said they were going full metal.
Oh, full metal, mate. Yeah. Well, it is eerily similar. It's like the Red Sox do the same thing over and over and over and over again, and then change nothing when it doesn't work. It's nauseating. But I think Buehler a little different than Giolito in that no, because we didn't know Giolito was coming off. Let me back up. Walker Buehler is coming off of a injury-riddled season. It was basically all lost He just happened to be the guy who closed out the World Series. He didn't pitch a lot in 2024.
Giolito postseason though.
Yeah, came through the postseason and like he got the coolest highlight with like turning around with his arms up, killing Yankee Stadium to death. But Giolito was supposed to be like Iron Man with he's never hurt. He pitches like 200 innings. And he has not pitched a single inning for the Red Sox. So I get what you're saying. It's a little different. You're more doing an upside play here, but either way, it's not ideal.
But the thing is, like we were sold because I get it. Full Throttle happened last year, but this there was so much more. I had no doubts in my mind.
Full Throttle, you could kind of sort of toy around with what that means. There's no room for interpretation with what was said this offseason.
Plus the reports after that's the biggest difference. The reports after Full Throttle were like, yeah, they're not really in it. We kind of just held on to hope because we wanted to hope, but we kind of knew. This time it was like, yeah, they said they're going to spend. The team is privately saying they're going to spend. The agents are saying they're definitely going to spend. Everyone's saying they're going to spend. And you know what? Goddamn, man, because we're having this podcast where we're bitching and moaning, like we're on minute 26 of straight bitch and moan. They're probably going to sign someone like I'm not going to say Burnes because it really doesn't feel like that one's going down, but like maybe they sign Teoscar like overnight or in the morning or something and make us feel like a little bit stupid and backtrack it. But I mean, I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm just so pissed. I just like, I wanted this to be different. And like, maybe the team should be in a better spot regardless, just because of what they have coming. But it's like, this is such a great opportunity to sell free agents on the future of the team. Well, guess what? If guys come up and they struggle, like think about how much higher we viewed the Orioles last year than we do right now. And I know I still view them as the division favorites right now, but like they were seen as a dynasty in the making last year. Now they're the team that can't win in the playoffs and, you know, is squandering an opportunity and maybe still not going to spend money. Like a lot can change in a year. This is when you have to convince guys to come here, and they haven't been able to close. They haven't been able to do it.
It's like they got too cocky almost. Like they're like, all right, we're going to suck for a few years, be cheap a little bit, and then we're going to come back and we're just going to be the same old Red Sox where we're going to be like the Dodgers where it's going to last for a long time. We're not going to do the peaks and valleys thing. But in the process of doing that, they threw so much shit in the face of the fans, the media, the players, and it's like now nobody wants to fuck with you, Red Sox. And now your plan A, plan B are all falling away. The fans are even angrier than they've ever been. I don't think it's time to freak out yet, but a lot of people are freaking out, and the Red Sox have to be seeing that. They're not completely closed off to the public. So I don't know. It feels like I hate saying it, but it feels like a cocky team getting what they kind of deserve.
What about one name we haven't brought up yet, and it's gonna probably piss off listeners that I say this right now, but the one name that does keep popping up is Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, that name was so much more exciting when I thought big things were gonna happen.
The name was also so much more exciting when Max Fried, the ground ball guy, was on the board. And obviously, I think their infield defense will get better when you have Story there the whole year. Fingers crossed. A second baseman that's not Valdez there the whole year, Tristan Casas. Fingers crossed. They offered him for Mariners guys. I'm mad about that too. Him at first base, hopefully for the full year. Hopefully the infield defense is better regardless of Arenado. But this is just to update on the reports. They've had preliminary conversations according to McAdam, and Arenado's got the full no trade clause, so his agent's kind of helping facilitate the thing. And the Sox have spoken to his agent. The name does keep popping up. The name is more exciting to me when it's in addition to an ace and a big right-handed bat, and he's the improvement on defense. Where if he hits, then you're happy with it. Not the guy that you need to hit.
Yo, what if the offseason is Arenado, Buehler, and Luis Castillo? And it's like the best offseason ever from 2021 or something like that.
If that's the offseason, give it a grade.
Happen, isn't it? Something shitty like that. We're gonna be so okay. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be like it's gonna suck guy, but I feel increasingly more like we're gonna be a bit underwhelmed in March.
We already are.
No. I mean, Crochet's still out there. Burnes is still out there. Teoscar's still out there. They could still have an A+ kind of offseason or an A. They didn't get Juan Soto. I know that was the A+. contingency thing, but they could still do it. I'm just
Sammy,
not.
grade the offseason you just described. If their offseason in the end is their pitching additions are Luis Castillo and Walker Buehler, their bullpen addition, their lone bullpen addition is Aroldis Chapman, and their lone offense addition is Nolan Arenado.
Dude, that sucks. That would suck so bad. Oh my God, I forgot. Yeah, Chapman too. This is like the greatest offseason ever from 5 years ago. That's a C-. You made the team better, but not even close to what we wanted.
I was gonna say B-. I like if they get Castillo and Buehler, I really don't think that's that bad in the rotation. But the offense is not going to be good enough if that's where you go. Pat, what about you? You give me wide eyes on that. You're not going to go B-. Where C range?
No, I'm with Sammy. I'd go C-. I think you added 2 guys who we would have been pretty content with being secondary additions, but they're your 2, I guess, like 1A, 1B primary additions. Bueller's a huge risk. Track record is phenomenal. Had a great postseason. Don't even bother opening his Baseball Savant page because I did that today. It is heinous. It is real bad. Castillo's been on a steady decline. You essentially added a 3 and maybe a 4 to your rotation. Fine, whatever. Chapman is an upgrade, but he's not a premier closer. You didn't really replace Kenley. You just kind of replaced Chris Martin. Arenado, I liked it so much better, and I thought that there was going to be a heavy ground ball ace in front of there. Arenado now just feels like a name. It just feels like a move to be made. Nothing about it excites me. They get better in that scenario. There's no denying that is a better team than last year. But it's not substantial. It's not significant. It's not what we were promised. So I would go C-.
The one thing that an offseason like that, if they don't sign the long-term starter and they go for guys that they think have a little bit of upside and maybe the max contract or the max commitment they have is 3 years, the one thing that would do, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, and I don't know if I should give them the benefit of this doubt anymore, but I will because the one thing they've consistently been willing to do with money is pay it to young guys. If you only have 3-year commitments, there's no reason they wouldn't go after Vlad in a year. So that's the one thing that would have. But I really liked the one day where I had definite benefit of the doubt, even though we lost on Soto, we're going to go after Vlad. And now I don't even know that anymore because the Blue Jays also might extend him.
No, there's no way he's going to accept that. I'd be shocked. I would be
You're right
so
that he
shocked.
shouldn't. You're right, he shouldn't.
I don't think you have to worry about that. I think that the Red Sox I think they're actually going to end up with Vlad, like genuinely, just because they offered Soto $700 million. I think they're going to go nuts again next offseason, but I don't think it's going to go as high because no Mets going to be involved. I hope.
I was going to say, what if they let Alonso walk? Then they are the favorite for Vlad. Very, very clear.
I don't know. I mean, they kind of went cheap on their rotation. I don't know if Cohen wants to do another $500 million plus.
Ooh, I think he does. I think he does.
I bet he does.
I don't know. Why didn't he go for Burnes or anything? He went so cheap.
I think that's Stearns thing. Stearns doesn't like long-term pitcher stuff with old guys.
Oh, okay. So you think they're only going to go after long-term bats?
I think if they were to sign, and it's been kind of reported that they're not going after Burnes. What is this? The Red Sox are still on the sidelines. I think it's an article. Never mind. I thought Jen McCaffrey was reporting something. Yeah. But I think if they signed Corbin Burnes, it would be more of a reflection of Cohen saying, let's keep going than Stearns. And if they don't sign Burnes, it's like Stearns telling Cohen, reel it in. Maybe we'll pay Manaea. They should be the team going after Buehler. If we're being honest.
That's weird though. Why would, if Stearns knows that he's got the most rich owner who's willing to spend, why would he care about a long-term deal? If they can just cut the cord at any time and eat money because they don't care, why would Stearns? I don't know. It's weird dynamic. But yeah, anyway, let me get back to that. I do think they're going to end up with Vlad, especially, and Gordo, I know you don't like this, with the Costas rumors, makes me think a little bit more that they're open to moving him. I don't want them to move him. There's very few deals that I think make sense for him right now, but it looks a little bit like they're lining up for Vlad. And like I just said, them offering Soto $700 million makes me think they'll go nuts for a guy like that. But that does not mean I think they'll go nuts on these other lower level free agents. I still think they're going to get outbid on those guys.
Not really breaking news, but feels relevant to the conversation.
It is relevant.
Yeah, the Guardians just flipped Spencer Horwitz to the Pirates. So,
and that's a team that might have been, because the Pirates were saying they want a first baseman. So a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Casas and Bubba Chandler or Jared Jones or something." Since Spencer Horwitz is going over there, I'd be a little surprised, especially since they've got some middle infield options there. If he's not the first baseman,
125 OPS plus that kid last year. He's good. That's a good.
He only played 90 games too. He had a really good year last year.
Is he a first baseman though? He's 5'10". I know he played second as well. I don't know if
he's
he
both.
Can,
he's both.
He is both. But like I'm saying, will he stick? That's not like that's a tiny.
Oh, they're just gonna throw shit at the wall and hope, man. It's Pittsburgh. Like, please. But yeah, so I don't want to trade Casas. I'm standing firm on that. If they have to get Vlad, that's the only scenario where I'm open to it. But if they trade Casas and it doesn't lead to them getting Vlad, I will be outside Fenway Park with pitchforks. So keep Tristan Casas on my team. What about the last one that we haven't talked about that's had a rumor since we last spoke is the James McCann thing. And what I'll say about James McCann is the guy is not good. He's not a good hitter. He used to hit lefties. He doesn't hit lefties anymore. He's not a good defender. Did I write down? Yeah, okay. 11th percentile in blocking, 14th percentile in framing, 45th percentile caught stealing above average, and he did not hit at all last year. He hasn't hit since maybe 2021. The one thing about the interest in him that piqued my interest was the fact that he caught 37 of Lucas Giolito's 41 starts in between the years 2019 and 20 when Lucas Giolito was really good. So maybe that's a guy that they're trying to bring in to make him comfortable when he comes back from injury and maybe help him find some of that stuff that he used to have. He also caught almost half of Corbin Burnes' starts last year. 15 out of his 32 starts were with James McCann, and the ERA was around a half run lower. I don't know how much that matters if they're not going to get Corbin Burnes. Hopefully they get Corbin Burnes, and it does matter. But the James McCann thing, that has a little bit of steam behind it, so maybe he's a backup catcher option.
Yeah, I don't love it. I get the Burnes connection, but he's not a good defender, not a good bat. I'd rather a guy who specializes in defense for the backup catcher, especially when your current starter, Connor Wong, is not great defensively. He's good at controlling the run game, but that's pretty much it. So I think it would behoove the Red Sox to go with a pitch calling extraordinaire, something like that. A guy who's good at blocking, a big body behind the dish. Not so much James McCann.
What about the name I suggested earlier that you guys laughed at me at? The defensive specialist of Martin Maldonado.
Oh no, he's terrible defensively now. His defense fell off a cliff. A year ago I would have said yes, Joe. So sorry to rain on your Martin Maldonado parade.
No, it's not even a parade. It's just me poking you with a stick, being like, how mad can they get?
Remember a year ago when Devers posted a cryptic Instagram post about Martin Maldonado?
Yeah. Dude, I liked that idea at the time because he was the defensive specialist. Like he was like an anchor back there, and he's great with pitchers. So I figured, okay, cool. He's not going to hit it all, but this team hits plenty. It won't matter. But then he stopped playing defense too. So glad they didn't make that move. I don't know who the backup catcher is going to be.
It's probably going to be James fucking McCann. Like that's probably what it's going to be.
Like, there's 4 teams in on him. All right, 4 teams.
Yeah,
Red Sox don't win bidding wars.
There's no way James McCann. I don't know.
That's why they might get Alex Bregman. They might actually get Bregman because nobody fucking wants him. So he's going to come to the Red Sox. The Red Sox will be like, look what we've done. We've brought you Alex Bregman. No more complaining, everyone. Pat looks like he's going to die right now. But yeah, no, I don't know. James McCann, I'm good on that. I don't know who the other options are. There's like no catching market. I wanted Carson Kelly because he's actually a good defender. Danny Jansen's gone. Who else even is there? I don't know. It's backup catcher. Who gives a shit?
What do we think? Go ahead, Pat.
No, I was gonna say, I actually wonder if they think Kyle Teal's going to be on the opening day roster.
Well, I think that's why
No.
they're having so much trouble. Like I think that's why they have to target a James McCann, because there's no way a Carson Kelly who's already off the board now. Like, this is something I probably should have thought of before, because I was dreaming on better backup catchers, because I really wanted someone who could defend better than Wong did last year. But if you're a backup catcher, why would you want to join this team where it's like you've got Connor Wong and you'll be the backup, but you've got Kyle Teal who's going to come up in June? And
No, I
so
don't know.
when he comes up, then Wong's the backup and you're on the chopping block. Why would you, as a backup catcher, want to come to the Sox?
I'm not convinced Teal is coming up that soon. He was not great in AAA until the very, very end. So he struggled more than he succeeded. His defense is a little bit behind. It's not as good as the Red Sox thought it would be. I wouldn't. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think a guy would want to be a backup catcher on the Red Sox because Wong is not a great defender and he's not a great bat. So they're not going to be like, we have to let this kid play X amount of games at this point. So I don't know. I think if you're an older guy on like a 1-year deal, you'll get a good chunk of playing time, probably like 35% of the games, maybe slightly less than that. I don't think it's the worst job ever.
I'll say this. I'm in on James McCann if they get Corbin Burnes. If it's just for Giolito, and I know James McCann's a great dude. I literally coincidentally was watching MLB Network. They had Colton Cowser on, and they asked him like, who's your veteran guy? And he's like, yeah, James McCann's the best. He like just out of the blue was like, James McCann's the best. And
All right, maybe
so,
he's a clubhouse guy.
I think he is, and like that's great. But at the same time, it's like we talk about needing to improve the defense. The catcher position was the worst. The Red Sox were the worst at the catcher position in baseball last year. There has to be a way to improve that without rushing a Kyle Teal to the majors. And I would prefer an Elias Diaz. That's the guy I like.
By the way, I don't think Carson Kelly signed yet. It looks like he's still.
No, he went to the
close
Cubs.
No, it's saying 3 hours ago, nearing a deal, making progress yesterday, close to signing. And nothing says that they locked it up. I know it was very close, but it's not listed as done on MLB trade rumors either. Or Spotrac, whatever the fuck. So I don't know. Maybe that falls
maybe
through.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Also,
I'm seeing making progress.
Elias Diaz. We talked about this yesterday. If the Red Sox were to get Elias Diaz as the backup catcher, they would have the last 2 MLB All-Star Game MVPs. And that's the most important award there is.
Sure is, man. All right. Before we get to enough said, give me. Yep.
I just came across this. This is from 35 minutes ago. John Denton of MLB.com. Arenado's list is dwindling, and the known teams he would accept a trade to are the Phillies, Mets, and Red Sox.
Well, there you go. Congratulations, Nolan Arenado, future Philadelphia Philly or New York Met.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Red
being
Sox,
an asshole. I'm being an asshole because I'm mad.
One of Arenado's final 3 teams. That's cool.
He said he wanted a team, or the agent said he wanted a team that had the throttle down today. That's what he said. He wanted no one wants a team that has the throttle down. We always got the throttle down in Boston.
This will get you guys fired up. How about Kurt Casale?
Nope. Next.
Nope.
All right. Luke Maley.
Nope. Next.
Yasmani Grandal.
Oh, you know how I said Lucas Giolito threw 37 of his 41 starts to McCann was really good in that 2-year stretch? Those other four starts in 2020 where he had like a 5.6 ERA, those 4 were thrown to Yasmani Grandal, known awful clubhouse guy who Tim Anderson wanted to beat the shit out of.
Oh yeah. Well, Grandal, 28 home runs back in 2019.
Hell yeah, we love guys from 2019. Alex Bregman was amazing in 2019.
There you go. Add Yasmani Grandal to the Chapman, Arenado, Luis Castillo, and Walker Buehler offseason, and you've got the 2019 All-Star team.
Sammy and I are in a group chat. I forget who said it. Someone in the group chat said, they could get Nolan Arenado and hope that he's 07 Mike Lowell, and then someone responded, or he could be Yankees Chase Headley. that killed me.
Chase Headley. That's good.
That killed me, man. Yeah. Okay. I think we're not as heated anymore. We're a little bit more level-headed. So now that our heads are a little bit more level, legitimate predictions. I'm trying to think. Legitimate predictions. Do they end up with Teoscar Hernandez?
No.
I think yes. I think yes. Do they end up with more than one starting pitcher? Let's just leave it at that.
Yes.
One.
Yes.
I'm very torn. I think it's gonna be two. I think it's gonna be two, but I'm not at all gonna commit to it being two that you're gonna like.
If you think two, that means you think Cutter's probably getting moved.
Not necessarily. I think they could go in with 6.
That would shock me.
I think they would be incredibly stupid to not move Cutter, just based on what the market's been like. Their team's dying for control of pitching.
That's a good point. But it's like, if you move Cutter, what are you moving him for? Yes, the price is high. What is it going to be? More prospects? Like, we're already talking about
Carlos
the over.
Correa. Carlos Correa, eat his money. Carlos Correa and a reliever. And then you're good. Boom. Now you got a third baseman, Rafi, DH, Correa, hit third in the lineup. Bang. And then you got a reliever who I just randomly threw in there.
I like that you just brought up Carlos Correa. I'm glad we didn't go this whole podcast without talking about him. That would be great.
Dude.
That would be great.
That is what I want on the Red Sox. I want a motherfucker like that, like an asshole who the other team hates, but we love him. He's like Brad Marchand. By the way, the Bruins, speaking of Marchand, just lost 8-1, so that makes our day even better.
Yeah, I saw that notification come up on my phone a few minutes ago, and I did a double click. I was like, huh?
Yeah, Winnipeg is really good. But yeah, no, Carlos Correa, I think if you move him to third, he's moving around a lot less than he is at shortstop, where, by the way, great defender at shortstop. So I understand that that's not going to be an opinion that everyone shares, moving him to third. But he can also be your insurance at shortstop for if and when Trevor Story gets an injury. So him at third base, you can move Devers to DH. If they move Casas, which I don't think they will, you can move Devers to first. But it gives you flexibility. And that doesn't mean Devers won't play any third base. I'm sure he will at some point next year in this scenario. But that is the right-handed bat that you want. He is a jerk in the best way. Like, I want a guy like that.
Can I explain to you why I really like this idea? So first of all, he didn't play a lot of games last year. He had plantar fasciitis. I think that's how Pat. Is that how you pronounce it? Plantar fasciitis.
Fasciitis.
Say it again, Pat.
Fasciitis.
So he played 86 games. So basically a half a season. He had a 3.7 WAR. So he would have had his best season ever by WAR had he played the full season. Dude had a 905 OPS, 152 OPS plus, meaning literally 52% better than league average as a hitter from the right side. Hits for power, 14 homers in basically half a season. And then talk about the defense. Yes, he could play third. Yes, he could play short. I really like the idea of moving guys around and sort of letting things fall into place. If he's your shortstop, you can put Story at second. If he's your third, you can DH Devers. You can move these guys around because Correa is going to be able to play third base. He's built like a third baseman. Story has played shortstop. Devers does need more days off from the field than he's gotten in the past. I think it's a good fit. The only question I have is, will the Twins move him? I know they're selling. It's one of those ones where okay, you're right. They're up for sale.
Hey,
I'll believe it when I see it for if they're going to trade Correa. I know they'll listen, but everyone listens on everybody.
It doesn't sound like they're motivated, according to what I read earlier, like right before we got on. Pat, I asked Gordo this earlier today in our group chat. I'm not even sure if you saw it, Gordo. But on the topic of the Twins, just hypothesizing, there's no rumors or anything about this guy, and I'm not going Pablo Lopez. I was thinking Bailey Ober. I wonder if that guy is available via trade. I would give up quite a bit for that guy. He almost struck out 200 guys in 2024. So underrated.
Ober and Joe Ryan are both incredibly interesting to me.
Yeah, I think Ryan's hurt right now. That's the only reason I didn't bring him up, because I did think about him as well.
Ryan scares me a little bit.
What is it?
Ryan scares me a little bit. I really like Ober, but he's Ober is built like that. Go look at a picture of that guy if you don't know what he looks like.
6'9", 260, and here's a red flag. He's been on the Twins his whole career, but he's had 3 different jersey numbers. The guy can't make a decision. Is that really someone you want on your team with this front office who can't make decisions either?
Yeah, man, he fits in perfectly. But yeah, Ober is a guy that I would be happy with. He's another guy where it's like if they got him and Castillo, that's great because now you've got certainty and you've got upside. Like that's why I want to see them add 2 guys. Give me 1 certainty, 1 upside. Right now it feels like they're chasing upside, and I tweeted this the other night. If you're listening, I guess on drop day, whatever, it was after the first night of the winter meetings when that McAdam quote came out about like not thinking that they were going to be too confident on Fried or Burnes, and I said it kind of sounds like they're trying to get a little bit cute here, which is great if it works. Like last year, if they closed the deal on Imanaga or closed the deal on Flaherty or closed the deal on Lugo, it would have been great. But there are a lot of examples of that not working. If Walker Buehler is their guy and he posts an ERA, in the 5s like he did last year, you're not going anywhere. You're not.
Oh, all right. Enough said.
Yeah, any enough said. Well, my enough said was just going to be don't trade Casas. I saw that they offered him for Wu or Bryce Miller from Seattle, both awesome pitchers. Don't care. Don't trade Tristan Casas.
Yeah, Wu, no shot. Just the injuries are crazy with him at such a young age. Miller, I'd listen on, but I'd really have to sleep on that one. That's not easy. But I hear you. I don't want Casas to get traded either.
What about you guys? Enough said.
Sammy, you want me to go?
I just wanted to see what your guys' percentage odds are on the Red Sox signing Corbin Burnes, since we can't do it with Soto anymore. And this is tough.
30, 25 or 30.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Well, if there's 3 teams in on, I'll say 25 because if there's 3 teams in on him, and they should be seen in 3rd place right now.
Okay.
10.
What about
10.
you, Sammy?
I was going to say 15 just because.
Wow, I'm the most optimistic.
Corbin Burnes is 30. He's a Boris client. The Red Sox are infighting. How much? We don't have to do the years, but money value. I think $275 million.
I'll say 265. I think is what he gets.
I'm gonna go 7 for 245.
Oh, okay.
That's the Steven Strasburg deal, right?
I think the Red Sox would actually make that offer. 7 for 245.
7 for 245.
I don't think they would. If they're not willing to go to 200 or what, if they weren't even willing to get close for Fried, what's making us think they're going to do?
You know what? Honestly, I said I think the Red Sox would make that, and then right when it came out of my mouth, I was like, "Do I actually?" I'm just being optimistic. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. This is why I don't like the quotes, because we hear one thing and then something else happens, and it's like the Mike Deportes thing. He's saying Red Sox are close on Burnes. He's their number 1 target, and then it changes hours later, and it's like, was he wrong, or did the story just develop? And there's no way to tell because Twitter is such a bad way to communicate. We're not going to call it X, it's Twitter. And it's just so frustrating, man. What do you even go off of at this point that would give you any sort of confident prediction? I have no idea.
Rewind quick to the Arenado thing. That guy, that MLB.com thing, that was kind of a misleading tweet. He copied and pasted a line from his article. Phillies, Mets, Red Sox. That's in addition to having the Dodgers, Padres, and Angels on his wish list.
Okay. All right.
So
understand.
The Dodgers, I guess, aren't in on him, but yeah. Go on.
God, I can't believe we have a when was Breslow announced as the president of baseball ops?
I don't know, November last year, late October.
Yeah.
So this guy's got at max 14 months of experience. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Pat, you got enough said?
I got a quick one. Shout out Jamar Chase. Brought me back down from 40 points yesterday. Secure playoff spot. Love you, boo.
7-Eleven.
All right. We're going to wrap there. Winter meetings are winding down soon. The Red Sox have yet to make a move. We really want them to sign Corbin Burnes. We really want them to get uncomfortable. It's time to get uncomfortable. Please get uncomfortable. Please do not lie to us again. We love this team and we love watching them, but man, it hurts when they don't love you back sometimes. And I want them to live up to their word. I don't want to be made out to be a fool. I've spent the last month and change, telling a lot of people that they were definitely going to spend. And I don't want this front office, this ownership group, I don't want them to make me look like a fool. I'm just speaking from the heart here. Like, we put a lot into this. Please, please, please don't let us down. We're getting out of here. Please, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts. Go to YouTube, WEI channel, Play Tessie playlist. Has all the episodes. Rate or thumbs up the videos. Subscribe to WEI. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Play Tessie on both of those. For Sammy and for Pat and for Joe producing, it's Gordo here. Hopefully we can do an emergency podcast at some point. Hopefully. Maybe someday. But till then, or till next time if we don't, thanks for tuning into this one. A lot of ranting. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.